Well, moving on to politics. Ahead of the Bayelsa state governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is promising to deliver a successful election that will be an improvement on the 2019 general elections. Now, speaking in Abuja at a roundtable on INEC's preparedness for the election, the chairman, Board of the Electoral Institute, assures Nigerians that the commission will do things differently in the Kogi and Bayelsa elections.
Letter of engagement, so they know exactly how much they're going to earn, so there'll be no story about money matter. And we're also looking at the political parties that they will be kind to the people of Bayelsa.
Well, the November 16 governorship poll in Bayelsa State is already showing trappings of an epic power play as the two frontline parties, that's the APC and the PDP, have started exchanging salvos, and that's in a bid to win the governorship seat in Bayelsa State. So let's join our guest in Abuja. Mr. Ehilebo Anthony is a member of the PDP Campaign Council. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on the program.
Thank you very much, Kairi. Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, thank you for joining us. You know, we can't forget in a hurry the violence and the deaths that were recorded during the presidential and National Assembly elections in Bayelsa State just a few months back. And when we remember things like that, we keep asking questions. What do we expect now in the coming days when we're planning to have a governorship election that seems to be heated up as it stands right now? So what do we expect?
Well, I can only tell you what, for a fact, what you can expect from the People's Democratic Party. I mean, we have a trailblazer from Bayelsa State with the former president who set an example in democratic ethos when he handed over to this current government. But I must say that this example hasn't been carried on. In terms of the kind of election you saw that ushered in this government in 2015, we didn't see the same thing. I mean, if you compare the reports from the international observers for 2015 and the international observers for 2019, you will find that there's huge variance in terms of the appreciation for the efforts of the Electoral Commission, the participation of the Nigerian Army, and all its other sundry military forces in this particular election. And if you allow me delve a little bit into it, one of the key flashpoint areas we had in the 2019 election was Bayelsa State, to the extent that a special assistant to the governor was killed in that particular election. And the people of Nembe were displaced from their ancestral homes. Until today, we've not had them move back there. So essentially, you have a huge population of people who will be disenfranchised. I do hope that INEC, I heard the tape of the INEC person speaking just now saying that they were going to ensure there was free, fair, and credible election, which tells you that they are aware that they performed subpar in the last elections. And we are hoping that they will, show us sort of a turn leaf in this election by giving us free, fair, and credible elections and ensuring that people are not disenfranchised. Because once you disenfranchise people from voting in the election, essentially you have not delivered a free, fair, and credible election. Right. So the indigenous people of Nembe must be relocated back home. We do hope that the government and INEC are working together to make sure that people are not disenfranchised. If someone is registered to vote, INEC's obligation is to make sure that those people are allowed to exercise their franchise. For therein lies the beauty of democracy. And again, I will tell you back, it's ironic that a major propounder of a democracy in Nigeria and continuance of this, our fourth republic, is his home state. And we in the PDP, like I said, I can speak on the preparation of PDP. I can speak that PDP is diametrically opposed to a violent franchise or exercise of franchise or we practice of gubernatorial election.
We did try to, get someone from the APC to speak with us on this. But we'll have to go on a quick break right now to discuss some other issues, especially reports that some people have, defected from the PDP and talks about vote buying. And we'll also add to that the budget defense of ministries, departments, and agencies ahead of the 2020 appropriation bill finalization. Stay with us. Well, thank you for staying with us. Let's go go back to our conversation about the Bayelsa governorship election, and we still have with us Mr. Ehilebo Anthony. He is a member of the PDP Campaign Council joining us from Abuja. Thank you for your patience. Now, before the break, I was going to put to you this report that emerged yesterday that some members of your party, especially from Nembe, Brass and Ogbea, have dumped the party. Now, the big question is, what does this mean for the chances of your party in this state?
Well, when you say people have dumped the party and have migrated, sometimes most of these things are propaganda-driven. For us, in the PDP, it's about the numbers. Bayelsa is traditionally a PDP state. You will have aggrieved people who have not been favored in one way or the other in an election cycle, and they will always find new home where they maybe feel that they are comfortable. But what you must ask is this: are they moving with the paraphernalia of the party? Are they moving with the people of the party? No. Some of them have issues. And I believe that genuinely within the party, we set up a reconciliation committee that is led by no other than Karam Bauchi, which is the governor of Bauchi State, who is a very close friend of the president. In fact, he prides himself as a Bayelsa indigene first of all. So I believe that he has the capacity to wade into some aggrieved members' issues. But that on the side, I mean, we all know that some of these defections are hyped and hyperboled to such an extent that you would think that it will affect the chances of the party. I dare say that if you compare both candidates of the party in this gubernatorial election in Bayelsa, you'll see that it's clearly distinguishable which one of these candidates has the capacity to run Bayelsa State. Here you have a 7th senator, Senator D. Doe, who has been tested and trusted.
Okay,
I don't even
Mr.
know
Anthony,
the name of the...
I'd like to jump in briefly so we can get another perspective to this. We have joining us via phone Mr. Numoipre Wales, is a Bayelsa APC chieftain. Thankfully, we got a hold of him on the phone. Thank you for joining us on the program this afternoon. Okay, I see we lost him. So, Mr. Anthony, I'll just let you land on that while we try to get Mr. Wales back on the line.
Kayode, have you ever heard of audio money? I think this is the same scenario we have with APC in Bayelsa. It's just audio. All you keep saying and is hearing things. But on ground, you know that the PDP is there. I'm on ground in your studio today. Is the APC person here? No, that's what will happen in Bayelsa. They will not be on ground. The PDP is solidly on ground in Bayelsa. I mean, all our people have been mobilized to go to Bayelsa. I'm from the South. I can tell you that Bayelsa is a PDP state, and there's no way members of the party from the South will lose that party to lose that state to another party.
You know, Mr. Anthony,
the PDP has presented a candidate that is tested and trusted, a candidate that has excelled in his own field, but we are yet to even see who the candidate of APC is. What is his pedigree? Where is he coming from? Do you think the people of Bayelsa have given a choice between somebody
I think it's a bit unfair, Mr. Anthony. One moment. I think it's a bit unfair to latch on to this, we trying to get across to Engineer Wales. While we try to... Now, there's this thing the national chairman of the APC said recently that the party, that's the APC, is coming to correct PDP's wrongs in Bayelsa State, and he cites alleged deprivation, which he says the state and the people of a state of the South have gone through. So how do you respond to that allegation of deprivation coming from the national chairman of the APC? You know what?
Since you have said it's the national chairman, you have made it a national issue. So I will go back to examples that we can rely on, which is the national examples. APC, for instance, said they were coming to cure three-pronged issues, security, economy, and corruption. As far as we can tell, the economy has tanked since the APC came into power. So the APC chairman should go and revisit that statement he has made, because the APC has not done well for us.
I am sorry, Mr. Anthony, I would have to come in again. I apologize, because Engineer Numoipre Wales, a Bayelsa chieftain, is back on the line from the APC. Okay, there he goes again. So you know what, let's go back to Mr. Anthony in Abuja. Forgive this back and forth.
Or it's just the scenario that it is, Kayode.
Okay, please go ahead. You were responding to the statement.
Well, since you're not accusing me of that this time, I can speak freely. But I can also tell you that, look, the APC chairman can make statements. This is the same person that in a campaign said he's willing to accept anybody, and once you cross over into APC, all your sins are wiped away. This is the same party that assured Nigerians that they will fix corruption. But here we have today in the newspapers, awash, a chairman of a committee is set to recover properties of the federal government has fled the country. So I'll be very careful to take the words of somebody speaking from a party that has failed Nigerians. And if you ask anybody, all they're prepared to go and do in Bayelsa is violence. But we in the PDP, if you watch all our videos, all our campaign chiefs, especially Bayelsa and Kogi campaign chiefs, have said that, look, we are diametrically opposed to the APC. If they propose violence, we propose peace.
I'd like us to be careful. Which is what
we are about. We're a party of peace. We're a democratic party.
Definitely. I'd like you to be perhaps careful and circumspect of the statements we make because, no one will gain from a violent election in Bayelsa State. And that's the desire of everybody, not just in Bayelsa, but in Nigeria, that this election will go peacefully, free, fair, and credible. So on that note, I'd like you to perhaps make a commitment from your party such that Nigerians would latch onto that commitment, saying that your party will go through this process in the most responsible way.
Kade, again, I might have to respond to you by when you say I have to be careful, because if you follow what I've just said, I said we are diametrically opposed to violence, which means that we're a party of peace. So no matter how you try and situate the PDP, PDP remains a party that is peaceful. It has been peaceful. It is one party that handed over peacefully to another government. Never heard of in the country in the last 20 years or so. So we've done that, and we've proved that peace is the method which we feel we can continue our democratic process. So if you want to extract a commitment from my party, our party is already across that line in terms of peace. All we are saying is that those that have said that they will make the creeks, they are making the creeks unenterable for other parties, should understand that they should allow the people to have a choice of their governance. We're not, everywhere they try to spread any position of violence, we spread a position of peace. We're a party of peace. We have never preached violence. We have never encouraged violence. We are not people that will, in any way or manner or form,
I think that's a good place to leave it. We'll hold you to your words, definitely. But we'd like to thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Mr. Ehilebo Anthony is a member of the PDP in Bayelsa State. Thank you for your time. Well, from the polls to the National Assembly, where the Senate Committee on Trade and Investment is set to investigate allegations of illegal transfer of 14.3 billion naira from the 2017 budgetary allocation of the Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority to a private company, the Nigeria Special Economic Zones Company. Committee Chairman Senator Rose Oko disclosed during a budget defense meeting with officials, that's officials of the Ministry of Trade and Investment. Well, still on the budget, the Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, is insisting on the maintenance of proper hygiene and sanitary conditions at the country's airport. He was speaking during the ministry's budget defense before the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation. Now, members of the committee unanimously asked the minister to bow and go without delving into the details of the budget. Well, the deadline still remains December this year, so we look to the National Assembly to perhaps meet that deadline. But that's it on Lunchtime Politics for this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, you can always join the conversation on our social media platforms. That's at Channels TV and at CTV Politics. I am Kaide Okikiolu. To have a beautiful afternoon.